Hi everyone, I knew I'd get around to the Q&A eventually. System well, I've already lost my words. I have just sat down from being out in the field, so who knows where different dogs are going to be, how different dogs are going to be settling or not settling, or diving all over me, or just having cuddles like, oh, here it is. So, start with some of the easier questions. Can black dogs carry the lemon gene? Yes, they can. There's also an orange gene, but I'm not quite sure, but it might be to do with whether the dog is black or liver, and one will carry lemon and the other one will carry orange, but I would need to look more into that. But it's to do with like the colour of their nose, and then the colour the spots then come out. Get off my phone, off the table. Katniss! Why is it always you being naughty, Katniss? So that's one of the easier questions. Shut up, Judith. Then what food is suitable for Dalmatians? So all of these are HUA Dalmatians, so they need a diet that is low in purines. Generally, like the richer the meat, the higher the purine content. So like game meat is very rich, therefore that will have high purine. Organ meat, like liver, like kidneys, like, I don't know, brain, they're all high in purines, so avoid them. Things like peas, some yeast, they're all high in purines, so you avoid them. But my rule of thumb is avoid game meat, avoid organ meat. And then the oilier the fish, the more likely it is that the purines are high. So like salmon is high in purines, but it's safe to give them salmon oil because the purine is in the meat, not in the oil. So you can't see me at all because I'm just being crowded by Dalmatians. So those are those questions. The recall question, I do plan to dedicate a whole video to that. But in short, is it possible? Yes. Is it hard work? Yes. But again, consistency is key. Not letting them get away with not recalling. If they do get away with not having a quick or instant recall, then you got to do it like another 5 to 10 times, I think, to overcome the ones that they miss. So I say like 5 to 10 good recalls. Pickles, why are you so loud, man? Do you have to play when I'm trying to do a video? I wouldn't bite Arya's tail. Yeah, Arya would tell you off. Then nighttime routine for puppies. So I never ever restrict water. They're allowed water all the time. If that means I end up cleaning up one wee overnight, then it's fine. If you want your puppy to learn to be toilet trained quicker, crate them. So they've just got this natural instinct not to soil where they sleep. So by putting them in a crate, then they're just going to learn to hold their bladder for longer. Obviously they're puppies, obviously they can't hold it forever, but you know, by Pickle's age she can go overnight without soiling, as long as I don't go to bed too early or get up too late. So you know, there's like a time sort of thing. Figuring out what time to give them their last meal is also important, so they get a time to digest their food and toilet, or feed them really late so they go straight to bed and then you're up early in the morning so they can toilet then. But yeah, crating is a really important thing. Always toilet them right before going to bed, so you're giving them every opportunity to empty their bladder. If you hear them crying, you go to them. Even if you don't think they need to go, if they cry, you go downstairs. Or if they're upstairs in a crate in your bedroom, then you get up, you take them outside, give them an opportunity to toilet, and then put them back in the crate. And then having like a solid bedtime routine as well. So all of my dogs, they all get a bedtime biscuit. Now, they don't need a bedtime biscuit, but it's a routine and habit I've got into, and they know it's sleep time, it's bedtime once they've had their bedtime biscuit, and they just go and sleep. So it's really easy actually that they learn that it's time to settle when they have their bedtime biscuit, and even when we're downstairs. And like, there's about half of the pack that aren't used to sleeping downstairs. They only sleep downstairs when I do, which is when we've got puppies. So they don't necessarily, they're not fast asleep then. They're not like settled for the night. But as soon as they have their bedtime biscuit, they do. So that's a nice little tip. And it's you being strict, same rules for anybody else living in the house, that, you know, the puppy's being put to bed, leave them alone. Ignore them unless they're crying and you think they need to go to the toilet. When they're in a crate, some like to be covered over completely, so it's dark and it's like a den. Dogs are den animals. If you create the crate space like a nice cozy den, guess what? They feel quite safe and secure, and they tend to settle quite well. But that being said, not every dog will like the crate being covered entirely. Some may like 3 out of the 4 sides of the crate covered, so you can still see out a little bit. There's still some better airflow into the crate, but you know, it's mostly covered, it's mostly dark. So that's a nice little, that's an easy one to do as well. And it's about you being consistent in maintaining the routine. So I think the biggest place everybody goes wrong with dogs is a lack of consistency. Like, you know, if I got them on the sofa now, if I then decided I didn't want them on the sofa, I'd have to shout at them to get them off. I'd have to probably pull a couple of them by their collars to get them off the sofa. And then all they're going to do is try and get back on the sofa. Well, yeah, because they're used to being on the sofa. So, you know, if I suddenly created this rule when they've had years of being on the sofa, I'm going to have a hard job doing it. Whereas if I kept them off the sofa from the time they were babies and they learned that the sofa isn't for dogs, then it's easy. And everything is just like that. It's just about your routine, being consistent, and correcting things if you've lacked consistency. Trying to find the right words. So how did I get into Dalmatians? Why Dalmatians over other breeds? When I first got a Dalmatian, I was still riding and I was still competing in dressage. I was still teaching. And my dad had just moved in with his girlfriend, so I was now like home alone. And I wanted a dog that was big and that would bark if somebody was there. So, you know, like intimidating, shall we say. Didn't want a dog that would actually do anything, but certainly alert me that somebody's there and alert somebody there that there's a dog around. And then I also wanted a dog that was good with horses and would naturally follow horses, because when I was younger, my aunt had 2 Dalmatians and we'd go out for hacks, and the dogs would come with us, and you know, wherever us kids went, the dogs went, and they were just our companions. And yeah, they just follow us kids around, and they were just lovely dogs to be around, you know, and they would bark and alert if somebody was arriving. And then they'd also remember people, even if the person hadn't been there for years, they'd remember that person and they'd greet them like an old friend once they'd been introduced. So I liked all of those qualities. And And I'm a Disney nerd, let's face it. So yeah, I knew they'd fit in with my lifestyle at the time. You know, this whole Harvwenner, I don't know what to call it, but it's taken over my life. My health got worse, so I stopped riding, and then I always had like this competitive edge to me, if you like, because I always competed on my horses, and then I still wanted to do some form of competing. I started showing Nala before I ended up quitting horses, and you know, got the bug. So yeah, then the population of Dalmatians in my house exploded. And that again is part of my trouble as well, is because I'm competitive. When I breed a nice one, I'm like, I need to keep that one. I want to show that one. I want to, you know, like Finnick was not the plan. Keeping 2 from Nala's litter wasn't the plan. It was always the plan to keep the girl. Fell in love with Pod. And by the way, the boys are in the other room because Jazz has come into season and the boys are harassing her, even though she's nowhere near ready. So yeah, I've always like enjoyed competing, wanted to compete, and then yeah, I just ended up keeping more and more and more. The name Harv means summer, and then Wenner is after my nan, and I used some of the inheritance money from my nan to buy Nala. So breeding from Nala was always the plan. You know, when I bought Nala, I made it clear when Nala was 3 days old, I hadn't chosen her at that point, but that I wanted a girl to eventually breed from. And the funny thing is, Nala's breeder said that she wasn't show quality because she had a high tail, and she hasn't got a high tail. And you qualifying for Veteran of the Year, stud book number, wins at championship level, loads of best of breeds and group placings at open level. Shut up, Katniss. She's done carriage dog driving, she's been in a music video, BBC series, 2 Chinese brand fashion shoots. She's just done it all. Shut up, Judith. She's been a classroom dog when I was doing teacher training at a college. She's just cool. She's just really, really cool. Just my baby, and yeah, just like my little companion. Oh. Judith! I think that's covered the questions. Oh, how many Dalmatians, what's the most or highest number of Dalmatians I've had in the house? That was definitely when Raven had her litter. So Pickles wasn't around then. But if you add 12 to the current number, and I say add 12, not 13, because Jazz is here already, she stayed. So that was definitely the highest number, if I include puppies. So yeah, that's that one. That was a really easy one to answer. The answer's a lot, because you lot have big litters generally, except for Pumpkin. So yeah, you can see how they all smush up on. There's Jude, Katniss, Aria, Jazz, Nala. Because you're all just sweet girls, aren't you? So yeah, they are lovely, lovely breed. If you want more info on feeding, I did a video as part of a puppy video, and I linked this good website that has like a list of ingredients and the purine level in those ingredients. And yeah, that was a good one. So what you do then is you'd look at the back of a bag of dog food and make up your mind then whether the food is suitable or not. So yeah, that's the that's like the easiest way or the quickest way, because obviously I have there's a broad range of countries that watch these videos. So if I recommended a brand that's only available in Britain, or is available in Britain, America, and probably Canada, but not, I think I got viewers from Brazil, India. I got quite a broad demographic of viewers. So yeah, I don't know every food that's available in every country. So I couldn't recommend like a German food that's suitable for Dalmatians or an American one, because that's the other thing as well. Even though the brands may be the same, the ingredients may be different country to country, so they might still not be suitable. And yeah, as you can see, I love an off switch in Dalmatians. They should all have an off switch. They should all be able to just come in the house and chill. Judith! She doesn't like being sat on. And Katniss is just, if there's an awkward way of doing something, if there's a silly way of doing something, Katniss does it. Katniss does it. So if I've missed your question, I will answer it in another video, and I will dedicate a whole video to recall. That's my next planned video to film. So see you all soon. Bye.